I know that when you're going through a tough moment, one of the last things that you want to hear is, it's going to be okay. You'll get through this. You're strong enough. Things happen for a reason. And I know because in that moment, you're just so consumed with the problem at hand that you can't absolutely see anything past it. You are just in this moment of why me, that anything that could possibly turn you around is just like, I don't want to hear that. I just don't want to be in this certain situation, right? Of course, life is life and it's not always great. And so it is going to put us in certain situations that otherwise we would choose not to be in. But what I've learned going through my own trials is that, number one, going through tough times has definitely made me stronger because it has opened my mind to realize that I am tougher than I thought I was. Two, it has made me more wiser and smarter as far as choices that I make, and it has made me more self-aware. To gain strength, not just physically but mentally, means that you have to put yourself to the test. It means that you have to endure certain things to get there. If you want to be a mentally strong person, you have to endure. And that's just the reality of it. And it sounds sucky, and it doesn't necessarily mean that you're there to suffer, but it means that you're there to learn. The importance of enduring certain times in your life is to come out on the other side. And it is to gain something from it. And it's growth, it's insight, it's self-awareness. It's you just growing as a person and getting stronger. In order for us to heal, there's three main factors that involve. First, it's the discomfort. It's the discomfort that you feel when you are first put in that certain situation where you don't like it. You know, you don't want to be there. You don't want to be feeling this way, but you're there and you got to deal with it. So then it comes acceptance. You now accept that you are there. You accept the feeling. You've kind of gotten a little bit comfortable with it. You kind of like gotten acquainted with it. And so now you're thinking of possible solutions. And then with that comes your growth. You have now been put through a certain situation that you've never been in before. You have now familiarized yourself with the feeling. You have now grown from it, and you can get past that circumstance. And now you have a different insight. Not everything is as big as it seems, but we draw it up so because we are uncomfortable. And my challenge to you, as I've been trying to challenge myself, is instead of trying to react to every single thought that comes your way, remind yourself that your reaction is what keeps that negative thought alive. You can't possibly believe every negative thing that you think of. Acknowledge it for what it is, but start basing it on evidence. Is there evidence that supports this otherwise negative thought? Is there something that makes this true? And if it's not, if it's just those thoughts that you make up in your mind that you overthink about, then it's not worth you putting in such an emphasis on, and it's not worth you focusing on. And then with that, you are able to tackle on other situations that may come your way in a more clearer way, because you now know that it's not as bad as you think it is. It's only as bad as if you keep thinking about it. So the less emphasis that you put on the negative part of it, the less bad it is and the less bad it hurts you. He or she who conquers endures first. Endurance doesn't necessarily mean that you have to suffer for a long amount of time. It just means that you're being put through something that's uncomfortable, and it's the power of you enduring through this difficult process or situation without giving way. Take a look at your mental endurance and see if it has the power or the resilience to go beyond the limits that you have self-imposed on yourself. You are capable. You do have the mental endurance. You do have the stamina. You do have the fortitude, but it just takes a little bit of trials and tribulations to push you, to show you that you do. Sometimes you don't know what you're capable of until you're put to the test. And in this instance, this tough moment that you're going through, you're being put to the test. And I know that you're not thinking clearly. You're not thinking about the after. You're not thinking about, oh, this is trying to teach me something. You're just thinking about how shitty this certain moment is. I get that. You have to look at the bigger picture. And the bigger picture here is that you're not going to be here forever, but you're going to get through this. When the going gets tough, the tough gets going, meaning you. And even when that tough situation arises and you're having a hard time accepting it, you just learn that you have to. Because it's not about the situation at all. It's how you deal with it. Happy Monday.